Yeah, how did you meet him? Talk about a day when you met him, actually.
Well, the way we met Ronnie was I had another officer here that was a very strong guy. He was a 500 plus pound bencher at one time. Uh, Played pro football. I knew him from powerlifting in the younger days, and he just came. He goes, "Man, you got to see this guy, man. He's a rookie, man." And he had, they had a little gym there at the station, and he's like, "This cat." He goes, "He's got more veins than anybody I've ever seen," And I'm like, "Really?" And we kept talking, and it's like he's a freak, And he just looks amazing. His arms are because they got to be 20, 21 inches, And I go, he doesn't even train his arms, And he doesn't, he kind of just does it as a hobby. He looks awesome. I said, "Well, man, send him down here, man. I need a workout partner." And I go, "Man, if he looks good, I'll give him a free membership." And that's how Ronnie first came down here, man. And I remember he walked in the door. He had an all red sweat, like the old style sweatshirt and old style sweatpants. And I've been around some really good guys. Some top level bodybuilders. Samir Benoot. I'd seen him up close. I'd seen Arnold up close. First I was around Tom Platz a lot. He was a huge influence in my life when I was a young man. And Ronnie had veins sticking through the sweatpants in his legs, and I'd never seen that before. I was like, "Dang, man." And of course you could see that vein in his arm, like a fire hose in both deals. And, we worked out together. Of course, he's very competitive. He doesn't like to get beat on anything. I think probably for maybe the first 6 weeks I could beat him on everything. And then I never beat him on anything ever again.
It's so funny because he always mentioned that story. The reason why he became a bodybuilder is because he got a free gym membership.
Yep.
That's really funny.
Says. Yeah, he always says. And it's true, with me, if I see potential in someone, I'll do really whatever it takes to get him in here. I try to. Because it helps our business. If you give a guy a free membership and he goes on to win the nationals, you made a good investment. Even if you got a guy that just looks really good, and people are going to go like, "Hey man, where do you train?" Or "How do I get like you?" And then they're like, "Let's go down to Metroflex," and it's he's not the only one. Branch was the same way. When Branch came around, Branch was just a little kid, man, and he didn't have the money for the membership, man. I remember he drove this old beat up truck and pulled up here. I remember he always says, he goes, "Man, first time I pulled up there, I don't remember it, but he goes, you were out in the parking lot training. These girls are wearing bikinis, doing lunges." He goes, Metallica's blasting on the speakers. He goes, "Man, as soon as I got there, I knew I was home, baby," and everything, and kind of did the same thing with him. Even as a 16-year-old kid, Branch had calves that would be the envy of any pro bodybuilder. Just crazy blessed in the calf area, and. I'm like, "God dang, man, you got better calves than anybody in the gym." I go, "Do you train them?" "No." I'm like, "Okay, damn, okay." But anyway, basically, I did the same thing with him. Gave him a free membership, and it didn't take long. He won everything you could win as a teenager. And then, after about 3 shows, I'm like, "Hell, you might as well go into the open too, because you're going to beat these grown ass men." And he did, and then didn't take him long, and then. He made it to a pro ranks, got his pro card at the Nationals. And one of the other great pros here, Johnny Jackson, that day, Johnny won the light heavyweight and overall, and Branch won the heavyweight. And back then, man, it was hard to get a pro card. Now, I don't know. They'll give away 50 pro cards in one show now. The show this weekend, they're going to give away probably 50 plus cards. Back then, I think, because it was only bodybuilding, you might have had 4 pros a year. But the thing is, every one of those were people that made an impact. It's people like Sean Ray, Kevin LeBron, Ronnie, Branch. Not all of them made it to the top to Olympia, but they were all, all freaks, man. They're all amazing.
And it's interesting because Ronnie has the keys to the gym, right? He can come in the middle of the night, train.
Now, he stays home. Ronnie probably has a better gym than we do in his house. And he doesn't like the virus, and and I don't blame him. Everybody has their own views on that. Here we've been open now for quite a while. We've had no issues whatsoever, to my knowledge. no one's caught it by working out here or anything. Of course, our doors are open. We got fans blowing. I've got sanitation stations throughout. And really people have been very cooperative. I mean, it's been it's kind of funny to see some of these giant dudes, wiping down a machine after they use it, but they've been doing good about it. The bad thing is a lot of them don't have them throw their paper on the floor, and they're like, "Come on, man!" I got like 9 trash cans.
Mm-hmm. Now it's interesting. You're the guy that's visible training Ronnie in a lot of his videos, his famous lifts. You're there spotting him. Talk about the strategy that you put together with him that led him eventually to becoming 8-time Mr. Olympia. What was the strategy? How did you guys work as a team to achieve that?
I think with Ronnie, at first, I would make up all the workouts, but as he grew, Ronnie made up his own workouts, and he had his own way of doing things. And he always says, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." And basically, I think more than anything, I was just there to provide inspiration and get him fired up. I'd slap it out of him. Of course, it felt like slapping a grizzly bear or something. And but it'd make him. It makes you mad. Last night I was doing a deadlift. I had a knee replacement. I haven't done anything heavy in 6 months, and I'm like, you know what? Let's see what we do, man. I went up to 500 and one of the boys was there. I go, slap the hell out of me, boy. And he gave me a good crack. I'm like, whoa, very sure there. I pulled it up probably about a second. I'm like, damn, okay. All right, let's see where I can go for there. Because, I'm 63 now, but I still think I got another world record in me, maybe. Hopefully we'll see. But with Ronnie, he would, I wouldn't have probably done it exactly like he did it, but the way he did it, it worked, and of course, one of the reasons it worked was that he was just so supernaturally powerful and strong. Ronnie would take a 200-pound dumbbells and let me rep them 18, 19 times. Just to pick up those damn things is a feat of strength, and then to get them all the way to here, like on the incline, and then to rep them out. Not many can do that. We have dumbbells up to 300 here that you can put together. No one's done the 300s in a press. A few people have done shrugs or one arm rows with them, but the 250s, the only person ever pressed them is the guy, Big Boy from Strength Cartel. He came all the way out here just to do them, and he actually did them. And Ronnie never did them in the press, and when I bought those, actually bought them for him because he's doing 200 for 15. So I'm like, so I got a pair of 225s and a pair of 250s. They were specially made, custom built, and the man that made them actually passed away a few years ago. But they were very good, sturdy dumbbells. They lasted for a long time. One just broke the other day, so I got the 225 in 2 pieces. I'm trying to figure a way out to fix it.
Do you think Do you think such heavy lifting was one of the key reasons why Ronnie became so dominant to build his physique to that such a
Yes.
some magnitude of level?
I do because it gives a different look. When you lift that heavy, it gives you a harder look really when you diet down. Or it's a grainier look, and all the years of him. He lifted heavy for. Before I knew him, he was a power lifter in high school and played football in college. So it wasn't like Ronnie was a novice when he came here. His arms were literally, after probably 6 months of training, I put the tape on him. I've got a picture somewhere around here, and he's up there, got it cranked up, but I got the tape around it, and it's legitimate. It's not angled or nothing. 21 inches, man. A 21-inch arm that's legit, man. And he probably only weighed 225 or 30. And he wasn't 300 pounds, and who knows how big his arms were when he was weighing 300. The heavy lifting with him, I think, really, 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 it made a difference, man. And it just made he was just so big, man. And to me, I like the way he looked in 2003 because he was 300 pounds with striations in his butt. Like the year before that, I remember we used to take pictures of him, and he would send them to his nutritionist, and they could tell him what to eat for the rest of the next week. Back then, we didn't have all this technology, so we'd use a little box camera, and I would take the mandatory poses, and then he'd send it off. And he, I remember taking pictures of him one time. It was probably 6 weeks out. He weighed like 288 or something like that, and he had striations in his butt. I'm like, Ronnie, you ought to just stay like this. I go, don't lose any more weight and go in. I mean, there's no body fat left. I mean, even now, he really doesn't carry body fat. I mean, he just blessed in that way. I mean, he's just a freak to be. I mean, he's just solid muscle, no fat anywhere. I don't know if he eats super healthy now. I would guess he probably does a lot of the time. But I mean, back then, I mean, like when I first met him, Ronnie ate nothing but like cheeseburgers, pizza, fried chicken, fried catfish, bologna sandwiches, biscuits. I mean, cheese grits with cheese. I mean, but to his, to give him props, man. When he started a diet, man, he stuck, and I never heard him once complain ever, other than trying to eat, 5 pounds of chicken in a day. That'll take a toll on you. It's just hard to eat that much.
Do you remember that injury? He told me he was lifting and there was a loud pop in his back. I think he popped something in his back. Can you tell me about that story?
I remember exactly what happened. I mean, he got so popular, people would come here from all over to train with him. And that day, a guy had come here to train with him, or I think there's actually more than one. But they weren't really used to spotting him like we were, And I think he was squatting like 600, But, of course, for him, he's going to do like 10 reps or more. And I didn't work out with him that day. Cause I mean, when I train, I don't like to rest a super long time. You got 5 guys, man. It's going to take some time. And I remember I was over on the other end of the gym doing the leg press. And I looked back there and saw him do it, and I saw this guy spotting him. And instead of like kind of supporting underneath his chest, the guy like pulled him around his waist and more or less, kind of bent him over. And that's when he got hurt, And I mean, even though he was hurt, he finished the workout, and he was going for a contest. I mean, he did. I think he won the contest. He still went to it, but that was like he'd had some injuries in his back before, playing ball and stuff. But that one, was definitely a major setback on him, even though he didn't show it. I mean, he's tough, man. The dude, he's tough still. He just will fight through it.
You've seen Ronnie through the duration of his career, when he was the biggest in his prime time, to after he retired and all the health problems that transpired. What kind of advice do you give him? Because he still works out to this day, right? Even though he
Oh
was
yeah.
injured through the pain, he's the type of guy that just he loves it and he's gonna keep doing it. But as a friend, what kind of advice did you give him? Did you tell him at some point to stop or not to
No,
not to?
no. I mean, I've had people even tell me that like with Branch, like, "Man, you tell him quit lifting so hard, he's gonna get hurt." But it's like, man, I don't know. It's like telling a pit bull not to bite anymore or something, man. I mean, it's in his blood. Um, you know, I believe. I mean, just like me. I mean, we're all going to train till we die. I mean, it's going to be a different generation when they're going to look in the gym and there'll be some 80-year-old dudes still trying to deadlift 400 pounds, or and maybe it'll be me. I don't know. But Ronnie is definitely that way. Obviously, there's certain things he can't do anymore, especially like squatting, deadlifting, things like that. But I think he knows his limitations, and he does what he can. And I've never said to him, man, stop. I think I'm 9 years older than him. So like back in the day when I hit 40, I started getting some injuries. And then he didn't really understand that, and he dang sure wasn't sympathetic to like he has it was he had more sayings than just lightweight baby and yeah buddy. I mean he's like get that hoe out of you and stuff like that. If he saw you do the thing he thinks you're being a he's gonna tell you, man. And I mean, getting a spot, like if you think he's going to be nice to you, and I mean, he's going to lift out that weight on the bench, and I mean, you better do it, man. You know, or because I mean, he'll pull it off you if you were getting crushed, but he wouldn't be. You know, you see a lot of guys bench pressing with 4 plates, and the guy above him's doing 100 pounds. So, but no, I think he'll always train, and I've never ever told him discouraged him. You know,